First on the Gulf Coast with breaking news and weather. Fox 10 Midday starts now.
Welcome in. Verizon and the United Way of Southwest Alabama are hosting the fourth and final disaster resilience workshop this morning in Sims. Fox 10 Stephen Moody is live there this morning with a full preview. And Stephen, this is a great tool to keep people safe, right?
Yeah, that's right. And if you lived here long enough and if you've worked in the business long enough, you know just how important it is to be weather aware, especially here in the Gulf Coast. And actually, doors just opened here at the Sims Community Center. I'm going to step out of the way and just kind of show you a sneak preview of what we can expect here. You see these tables, and in just a few minutes, they're going to be full of people who are going to be waiting and going to be hanging off of every word to make sure that themselves and their families are safe and prepared. Now, this is so popular that registration is already closed, but no problem. Fox 10 is here, as you can see, and we're going to be here to be able to give you all of the information that you need to know. Now, this free event is to help people in our area be prepared for emergencies, especially when it comes to financial needs. People will also learn about being properly insured before disaster strikes, as well as other key tips to stay prepared and to keep your household safe. Now, like you mentioned, this is the fourth and final workshop. The United Way previously hosted these events in Citronelle, downtown Mobile, and Bayou Battery. Now, attendees will also receive these free disaster kits while supplies last. Now, they have two versions of these disaster kits. They have this one, which is branded with the Verizon logo and with the United Way Southwest Alabama logo. This is the small one that they're going to be giving out here, but they also have this large emergency kit here. It's a little bit heavy, but that's a good thing because it has everything that you would need here. You can see has supplies, life-saving supplies for up to 3 days. So these are just some of the things that they're going to be giving out here today. Once again, registration is closed, and I just actually had a chance to speak to someone at the door. They say that even though registration is closed, if you want to make your way down here to the Sims Community Center, they'll be more than welcome to help keep you informed. No promise if the food is still going to be here, but you'll still be able to have all of that life-saving information, especially here on the Gulf Coast, where it's definitely critical. Now, this event will start at 11:30 here at the Sims Community Center. So when it does start, we'll be able to get some of that information, and then throughout the day, we'll bring that to you, of course, on air and online. But for now, reporting live here this morning here at the Sims Community Center, Stephen Moody, Fox 10 News.
All right, Stephen, thank you so much for that look there. It is Fox 10 Midday on your Tuesday. Thanks for looking in. I'm Ashley Mitchell.
And I'm meteorologist Hannah Fink.
Hannah, obviously we just saw a great reminder to always be prepared for disaster, emergencies. Obviously we're still in hurricane season, but before we get to the forecast, we have some traffic to talk about.
We do. Luckily, though, on the bright side, it has improved drastically. Literally about 20 minutes ago, we were seeing nearly a 30-minute slowdown on I-10 heading eastbound due to a car wreck that was going on. Now conditions have improved. That time has been cut in half. There's still sections where you probably might slow down, but we're not seeing nearly as much red on our traffic trackers. So that is great news there. Still a little bit need to be aware for some caution out there, but definitely not as bad as it was. This video was taken by Shelby Myers this morning on her way to work. She definitely was in the brunt of it. Here's a look at our traffic tracker. Now you can see not as bad. We have a little bit of slowdown going on to the I-10 eastbound, and then it goes to medium. Then we're starting to see a little bit more green compared to what we saw. Here's a look at our drive times of what we were looking at. So now it actually has gone down. It was at 15 minutes literally a few minutes ago. Now it's at 10 minutes for I-10 eastbound from the Wallace Tunnel to Daphne. So we're seeing improvements there, which is great news, but always pack your patience if you're getting out on the roadways. But let's take a look at our traffic right now. Here's a look at our four-way camera. A lot of us are starting to warm up well close to that 80-degree mark, especially at Orange Beach, as well as D'Iberville, Mississippi. Still seeing those blue sunny skies out there. Beautiful day for our Tuesday. A little warm though. Temperatures right now getting close to that 80-degree mark. Some of us are already there. Like Pascagoula is at 80 degrees, 79 in Gulf Shores, 76 in Navarre, 80 in Crestview as well as Evergreen, 79 in Fairhope as well as Mobile, 74 in Calvert, and 76 in Monroeville. Luckily, though, even though it is warm temperature-wise, we're not going to add on with that humidity lingering through the air. So our dew points, we see this tan shading. That means we're not going to feel any humidity or any moisture. We're in that dry to pleasant category, and that'll stay pretty consistent throughout the day today. So forecast planner in Mobile showing a warm, sunny day. We'll already be near 86 degrees by by 4 o'clock. We have that northeasterly wind bringing in that dry air. Then we'll clear out tonight with clear skies. 74 degrees by 7 o'clock, getting back into the 60s around 10 o'clock tonight. Over in Pensacola, same story there. Plenty of sunshine. 78 degrees already throughout the morning. 82 degrees by 1 o'clock. Then we're going to get back into the 70s degrees. 71 degrees by 10 o'clock, but clear skies overnight tonight. We do have a rip current risk that we're looking ahead at for this coming weekend. We do have some disturbed weather. I'll be breaking down what we're expecting with that this weekend, as well as your Tuesday forecast coming up.
Hannah, thank you. In our headlines now, a planned exchange of hostages and prisoners went through Monday, but Israel is still waiting on the return of 24 others who are believed to be deceased. In the meantime, there is still a long road ahead for Gazans. Fox News correspondent Rebecca Castor reports now from Tel Aviv.
Emotional reunions here in Israel as the freed hostages got to spend their first night back at home with their families. Amri Moran's wife jumping for joy, watching the moment her husband returned to IDF soldiers on Monday. He was kidnapped on October 7th in front of her and their 2 young daughters. But now he gets to focus on just being their dad.
That moment where he finally was able to meet them, I think I've never seen someone happier. He missed so much of their growth. For that reason, we prepared for him a video before he met them, where he could watch what has happened to them over the past 2 years, how much they grew. Amri's story just one of multiple in Israel this week. Others, though, were not so fortunate. Only a few of the deceased hostages' remains have been returned to Israel, and 24 families are waiting to plan burials. I really want to be able to say one day that our fight is over, that all the hostages are home. As part of the deal, Israel also released thousands of Palestinian prisoners who returned to Cheers in the Gaza Strip.
Seeing the sun without bars is an indescribable feeling.
But the prisoners, along with thousands of displaced Palestinians, are returning to apocalyptic scenes, while nonprofits race to address the humanitarian crisis.
Hunger has been killing us. We can't find food, blankets, or shelter.
Many questions still remain here, though, including when and how Hamas will disarm and when Israel will fully withdraw from Gaza. In Tel Aviv, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Also this morning, the back and forth air attacks between Russia and Ukraine are heating up, all ahead of talks planned for Friday with President Trump and Zelensky. Both Kyiv and Moscow are now targeting each other's energy infrastructure. Overnight, Russian bombs hit the main electrical grid in Kharkiv, plunging the city into darkness and cutting off power for more than 30,000. Meanwhile, Ukraine has been stepping up its new campaign against Russia's oil refineries, all with President Trump's approval.
I think Trump is at a place now where he's completely fed up with Putin. I know for a fact he's removed the restrictions on use of long-range weapons inside of Russia.
Right now, an estimated 40% of all Russian oil refineries are offline, mainly because of Ukrainian attacks. And the White House says it's having a big impact on its effort to stop China and India from buying Russian oil. President Trump saying now that the Gaza peace deal is in place, he wants to refocus his diplomatic efforts on Ukraine. Well, a sister-in-law of former U.S. Senator Mitt Romney is found dead in Southern California. According to several reports, the body of 64-year-old Carrie Romney was found outside the parking garage of a shopping center in Santa Clarita. Preliminary information indicates Romney may have fallen or even jumped from the garage. The official cause of death is deferred pending toxicology results. The Daily Mail reports Carrie Romney was married to Mitt Romney's older brother George, who filed for divorce in June. Well, meanwhile, the federal shutdown is now a full 2 weeks old, and House Speaker Mike Johnson warns it could end up being the longest in history. Johnson says he won't negotiate with Democrats until they agree to reopen the government. Now, the longer the shutdown goes on, the more its effects are being felt everywhere. Fox's Caroline Shively reports from Washington.
On day 14 of the government shutdown.
Good morning. I'm an air traffic controller here.
The National Air Traffic Controllers Association passed out leaflets at Reagan National Airport explaining federal workers deemed essential have to report to work. without pay.
10,800 certified controllers where there should be 14,633. They work 6 days a week, 10 hours a day, and they usually only have 4 days off in an entire month.
Now some government employees who've been furloughed are getting fired. The administration has sent out reduction in force notices to more than 3,500 workers.
Firing and threatening to fire federal employees is part of the Trump administration's campaign to inflict trauma on our federal workforce.
It doesn't have to be this way. Chuck Schumer, if you open the government today, this would end.
Republicans want a short-term continuing resolution that would reopen the government. But Democrats want a bill ensuring COVID-era health care subsidies continue for Americans who could see their insurance bills double.
All it does is keep the lights on at the current funding levels for a few extra weeks while we complete the normal appropriations process.
Let's stop this healthcare crisis cliff and make sure these federal workers get back pay and get back to doing their duty and helping the American public.
Members of the military are getting paid this week, with the White House instructing the Pentagon to find the money to make Wednesday's payday. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Now, if you are affected by the government shutdown, Prodigy Pantry wants to help. They are holding a special food distribution today from 3 p.m. until 5 p.m., and it's for federal employees who are set to miss a paycheck because of the shutdown. You are asked to bring your federal ID, and Prodigy Pantry is located at 9315 Spanish Fort Boulevard. Again, that's 9315 Spanish Fort Boulevard. Also, the special distribution begins at 3 p.m. like we mentioned. Well, it's 11:11 now, and straight ahead we have several road closures to tell you about. Plus, in our next half hour, one woman living a nightmare as all of her bank accounts were frozen. What she had to do coming up in Did You Know in just a few moments. But before we go, Hannah, a toasty and dry day for us again.
Exactly that, and a few more days of that as well. But let's take a look at the next 10 hours over in Orange Beach. Beautiful beach weather out there with a low risk of rip currents. Do make sure you have that sunscreen on hand. We do have a high UV, but plenty of sunshine out there with temperatures close to the mid-80s and a slight breeze out there maybe to help cool us down a bit. Don't go anywhere.
Dr. Mark Stalder is a plastic surgeon certified by the American Board of Plastic Surgery, renowned for his focus on the post-mastectomy treatment of breast cancer patients. He joins us now with more on his practice. Dr. Stalder, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So let's start with the basics. What do you specialize in? How do you help our patients right here on the Gulf Coast?
Sure. So my practice focuses on, as you mentioned, the treatment of breast cancer patients who have undergone mastectomies, right? So I put the pieces back together again.
Yeah, for sure. What's been the response from some of your patients, after a procedure is done, specifically after a journey like that?
It is a journey, yeah. And my patients are with me for a year or more during this process. I get the pleasure of being on the back end of things, right? So when they're done with their treatment and, when they get to put their lives back together again. And so I get to see that part of the journey, and that's, it's very nice, yeah.
Absolutely. What would you say makes you and your practice and your team different from others along our part of the world?
So my practice focuses specifically on a particular type of breast reconstruction where we use a patient's own tissue to recreate the breast. Most patients and just the public in general are familiar with implants, right? And implant breast reconstruction. But what I do is transfer living tissue from different parts of the body, commonly the lower abdomen, right? So tissue that we normally throw away during a tummy tuck. Mm-hmm. In this case, we transfer it to the breast, typically at the time of the mastectomy, right after the breast has been removed. And using a microscope, we reconnect these tiny little blood vessels, 1 or 2 millimeters in diameter, to some in the chest and reestablish the blood supply so that we make a new breast out of living tissue. It's just fat, so it doesn't cause any kind of cancer risk or anything like that. But when we're all said and done, it looks and acts and feels like a natural breast. And so, there's a lot of potential advantages of that type of reconstruction over an implant reconstruction, depending on the patient's needs and preferences.
Absolutely. I'm sure when you get a new patient, they're curious of your background and how often you have done this. About how many procedures like that have you done throughout your time?
Well, I haven't counted it up, but I do between 250 and 300 of those particular types of breast reconstructions each year.
Yeah. So definitely talented, and he and his team knows what they're doing. So let's talk about, if someone wants to come and visit you for the first time, what are some important questions you think they should ask you and your team?
Sure. So, it's very important to, A, be comfortable with your surgeon and be comfortable with the plan. You want to understand the general details of why we would be selecting this particular procedure over another and what comes along with it. One of the big advantages of a tissue-based breast reconstruction is it is definitive, okay? So, it's a little bit bigger of a procedure up front, a little bit more of a surgical investment, and that's important to understand. But when you're done, it's there for life, right? There's no maintenance procedures. There's no need to change out implants or any of the issues that can potentially come along with those procedures. And you just have a natural breast.
So important. Dr. Stalder, if someone's watching this morning, they want to go ahead and make a call and book an appointment with you and your team. How can they do that, and where are your locations?
Sure. So right now I have clinics at the Providence Hospital campus and the Thomas Hospital campus. We're on both sides of the bay. And the best way to get in touch is to just look us up on the web, StalderPlasticSurgery.com. We have all of the information for our locations and phone numbers, and that's going to be the best way to get in touch.
Dr. Stalder, thank you so much for your time today.
Appreciate it.
And if you'd like more information, we're going to have it a little later on today on our website, fox10tv.com.
Here is a live look over in Perdido Key. Beautiful blue skies out there. Not many people out on the beach today. A lot of people went back to work today. Yesterday was a holiday, but sunny skies out there. Just don't forget your sunscreen. You do see a little bit of a slight breeze out there. But let's take a look at our weather headlines. Not much is changing in the forecast. We're still seeing those cool mornings, these very warm afternoons, but we do have our next chance for rain coming this weekend. Hopefully that'll help us out with our drought-like conditions. But for right now, we're going to continue to stay dry. Our Muggy meter shows we're going to stay well into that dry category. When our dew points are in the 50s, just know you're really not going to feel any of that moisture when you're outdoors. So that is going to stay pretty consistent over the next 5 days, though. We start to see moisture return back into the forecast starting on Thursday. So we're going to be dry today as well as tomorrow. But Thursday, we're getting back into that a bit humid category. Then Saturday, we're going to be grazing the muggy category. So enjoy these next few days of these dry conditions because that humidity is coming back. The reason why we are staying dry. This is a look at our water vapor, the measure of moisture in the air. This brown shading is that dry air that is moving through our area, so that is why we are staying dry. A lot of that moisture is not coming back for another few days, so we're going to stick with this dry air over the next 2 days, but it's warm outside. Luckily, though, it's dry, so we're not adding on to that feels like temperature, adding on additional heat with that humidity that's usually in the air. But our forecast highs, upper 80s for the most part, definitely above average. We have 86 for a high in Pensacola, 86 in Crestview, 87 in Mobile, 85 in Monroeville, and 85 in Lucedale. So make sure you have many ways to stay hydrated if you have any outdoor plans today, whether it's practices or maybe a lunch outside. Sunny skies will continue on throughout the entirety of the afternoon. 83 degrees by 1 o'clock, then 87 degrees by 3 p.m. Although one way to cool off would be going to the beach. We continue to see a low risk of rip currents over the next 3 days, but do keep in mind if you're heading to the beach this weekend, that is going to change. We have some unsettled weather coming in, like I did mention. That's going to increase our rip current risk to a high coming on Saturday, so maybe change your beach plans if you're trying to go out there, or enjoy it over the next 3 days while we continue to see these safer conditions. We are still tracking Tropical Storm Lorenzo. That's way off into the Atlantic, 45-mile-per-hour winds, pressure of 1,003 millibars, continuing to move northwest at 15 miles per hour. Good news about this storm, it is not going to affect anybody. It is going to be affecting the fish out in the Atlantic. It's going to stay a tropical storm as well. So that is great news for us. No tropical impacts to our area over the next 7 days. But here's a look at that ridge I was talking about. That's also going to show you what we're looking into next week. So here's that high pressure system building over Texas that is going to be moving into our area over the next few days. Then we have this dipping here. That is actually bringing that cold front that's going to be bringing our rain chances this week. So that is what we're hoping will help us out with these drought-like conditions. But first, we got to get through these warm and sunny afternoons. Luckily, our morning lows will still be pleasant over the next 7 days. The next rain-making chance that we see is going to be Sunday when we have a 60% chance of rain. That's mainly during the overnight hours into the lunchtime hours. Luckily, behind it, there looks to be a little bit more dry air, and we won't see as much rain. So Sunday plans are still a go if you're trying to do stuff outdoors.
Great to know, Hannah. Thank you. 11:23 now, and we do have a traffic alert to share with you today. Several roadways in our area will be closed starting today. The Interstate 10 eastbound exit 35A ramp will be closed until 4 o'clock this afternoon. AlDOT will be performing maintenance on the exit ramp, and drivers are suggested to use exit 35B for access to US 98 and US 90. In Mobile, Stanton Road south of University Hospital will be closed weekdays from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Officials say this closure should last between 2 to 3 weeks, while Alabama Power installs bases for new transmission lines to service University Hospital. Drivers should take Spring Hill Avenue instead to Mobile Street and University Hospital Drive back to Stanton Road. Also, southbound traffic from Pritchard Avenue can still access the hospital. Also, the city of Mobile will close South Thigpen Drive between Demetropolis Road and East Thigpen Drive starting sometime today. This closure should last around 2 weeks approximately. Drivers will still be able to access Cottage Hill Baptist Church and Cottage Hill Christian Academy. Still much more ahead right here on Fox 10 Midday. Kenlett Jr. continues his road to recovery after breaking his neck in a football game. Our Dacian Smith sits down with him and sees how he is progressing. Welcome back. It's been just over a year since T.R. Miller running back Kenlett Jr. broke his neck during a game last season. And while it's been a really long road to recovery, he's made incredible strides since then. Our Dacian Smith spoke with Lett about his journey.
This moment has been a long time coming for Kenlett Jr. Last year, the Tigers running back was returning the opening kickoff against UMS Wright when the unthinkable happened.
I remember seeing a guy in front of me, and I tried to hit him, but I just lost control of my body. I really don't know what happened. When I got hit, it really felt like my soul left my body, because I couldn't move nothing or anything. I was praying, trying to talk to God, asking him to make sure I'm okay, help me be okay.
Ken was diagnosed with a broken neck, which led to surgery and a long year of physical therapy.
Lower yourself slow onto that right elbow. Keep your balance, keep your balance.
He says at first he didn't have much mobility and wasn't able to do some of the basic things he could do before, like feed himself. But through it all, he still kept his faith, despite some mixed emotions.
It was also a lot of depression there, a lot of disencouraging when I go to move my left arm, I see it wouldn't move. It's a lot of discouraged, probably depression. But I also had my family there to help me. But yeah, I just kept having faith, believing in God.
His faith paid off. Over the summer, Ken went to the Shepherd Center in Atlanta, where, with the support of his loved ones, he started to regain some of his mobility and get back in the weight room.
It was encouraging because it made me keep working harder. I was grateful for it. I just kept praying for more mobility.
Since coming home, Ken has kept going to physical therapy every week in Mobile. He's also returned to T.R. Miller to be with his team.
But he is actually Coach Lett to us, Coach Lett, and I tell him every day to coach these guys up, and he does. He does a phenomenal job. He is a phenomenal man and a phenomenal mentor to these kids.
Recently, Ken was honored before this year's game between T.R. Miller and UMS Wright, along with the trainers who saved his life a year ago.
Man, it's been awesome to watch your journey. It's meant a lot.
And I thank God for them.
Ken still has a long way to go, but with his family, church family, and teammates behind him,
you know what number that is, boy? Yes, sir. Yeah.
He's working towards his ultimate goal of walking again.
Never let up.
What an incredible story there, Ken. We know you're going to make a huge impact in the days and years to come. Ken's family has had a few fundraisers over the last year to help cover transportation costs to and from physical therapy. If you would like to help, we have that information on our website, fox10tv.com. Well, still to come on Fox 10 Midday, Ford cuts production after a fire. We have that story for you and much more coming up in your business headlines. Plus, what do you do when your bank account freezes? One woman reached out for help. Did you know bank account closed is coming up after this break.
Committed to you. This is Fox 10 Midday.
Welcome back in at the half hour. Today, third quarter earnings season is in full swing with big banks leading the way. Ford slices production after a fire, and Google invests in South Carolina. Finally, the results of the 25th annual drive-through studies are in. Here's Fox's CJ Papa.
Business is booming on Wall Street and Main Street. JP Morgan raked in more money in the third quarter from trading, deal making, and steady consumer spending. Goldman Sachs revenue jumped as well. The bank now on pace for its best year ever in its main investment banking and markets division. Ford Motor temporarily cutting production of 5 models after a fire at a crucial aluminum supplier's plant. This includes its lucrative 3-row SUVs, the Expedition and the Lincoln Navigator. The pause is set to last at least a week. Google is set to invest an additional $9 billion in cloud and AI infrastructure in South Carolina through 2027, building 2 new data centers in Dorchester County. They ultimately will have 42 cloud regions worldwide. And Taco Bell takes the crown as the fastest drive-thru. A study based on over 2,000 drive-thru orders found the average customer only spends about 4 minutes in line. Chick-fil-A was the slowest, with customers waiting over 7 minutes for their chicken. But the long wait might be worth it, as it still ranks the highest in customer satisfaction with a 98% rating, tied only with Dutch Bros Coffee. CJ Papa, Fox News.
Well, Americans are known to go all out for Halloween, and this year likely won't be any different. According to the National Retail Federation's annual consumer survey, Americans are expected to spend an average of $114 a person this Halloween season. And that adds up to about $13.1 billion, which is a record high. Candy is, of course, a popular purchase, with total spending expected to reach $3.9 billion. The survey finds Americans will spend more than $4 billion on costumes as well. Spending on decorations will also exceed $4 billion. As for when and where to buy your Halloween supplies, discount stores are the top destination. And nearly half of shoppers started to tackle their list in September or earlier. Still need to do my shopping as well. Well, listen to this. American Airlines is letting customers add their boarding passes to Google Wallet. The airline says the move will allow passengers who use Google Wallet to have easy access to their boarding pass throughout their travel. Other airlines already allow boarding passes to be used on Google Wallet, and some passengers were able to upload screenshots to the app prior to the integration. American also allows its tickets to be added on Apple Wallet as well, along with the ability to automatically add the boarding pass after checking in on the American app. Well, Michigan first responders faced an unusual rescue on Monday, freeing a deer trapped in the middle of an interstate. The 4-point buck was first hit by a vehicle before becoming stuck in the concrete barrier that separated the north and southbound lanes of I-75 in Auburn Hills. The rescue took about an hour overall, and after, the deer was evaluated for any serious injuries. With just a little bruising, the deer was released not long after its rescue.
Taking a live look outside at Fairhope Pier, a nice breeze out there. As you can see, the American flag waving over these blue skies, sunny skies at that. A lot of people should enjoy getting outside today. Definitely a beautiful day. Let's take a look at our current conditions across the area. A lot of us already getting to that 80-degree mark, 79 degrees in Mobile Regional Airport, as well as Pensacola International Airport, 78 degrees there. Plenty of sunshine. We do have that nice breeze out of the north, getting close to 10 miles per hour. Dew points in the mid-50s. So we're not really going to do much with that feels like temperature out there. We are still in those drought-like conditions as we've been talking about all week, hoping this rain will help us out this coming weekend. A lot of us in that moderate, a few of us in severe, especially in our more northern spots in parts of Pascagoula near Biloxi. Near Baldwin County, the coastline, they are not in the drought condition because they had that flooding with that rain event that happened about a week or so ago. But a lot of us could be using that rain. We really need it to help us out in this category. So rain chances over the next 7 days. We're staying at 0 until about Friday. We could see a lingering coastal shower, but right now a lot of models aren't hinting at one. But just do keep in mind we could see that on Friday. But Saturday we have about a 20% chance of seeing some rain, then 60% chance on Sunday. Now the timing with that specifically, we're going to see this front start to move in Saturday night into Sunday morning. So that's really when we're going to see all these showers and possible thunderstorms is in the early morning hours on Sunday until the afternoon. So around 1:30, 3 o'clock we can start to see that fizzle out. So this will be an early morning event. So I do want people to keep that in mind. So there's that explanation. But right now we are going to stay warm and toasty out there. Luckily not as much humidity, but definitely on the warmer side, getting close to that 90-degree mark at 3 o'clock. We're at 83 degrees by 1 o'clock, 87 degrees by 3 o'clock, 84 degrees by 5 o'clock. Then we drop back into the 70s after sunset tonight. So make sure those kiddos have plenty of water out there, especially if they have any school practices. But forecast winds may help us out a little bit. We're getting closer to that 10 mile per hour mark. Then it starts to go down closer to variable winds around 7 o'clock tonight. That northerly wind's definitely helping us out, bringing in that drier air. Afternoon forecast, another warm and sunny afternoon, close to 90 degrees. Winds around coming out of the northeast at 7 miles per hour. Here's your evening practice forecast. Look at this. Zeros for rain, 84 degrees already by 5 p.m. Definitely warm out there. 74 degrees, though, by 7 o'clock. So we do cool down just a little bit, but we do start off the evening quite warm out there. Right now, over on Orange Beach, 79 degrees. Feels like 80. We do add on a degree there. But the water is looking absolutely gorgeous out there. People getting into the water. Over the next 10 hours, expect plenty of sunshine. Temperatures in the lower 80s over in Orange Beach. UV index shows you definitely want to have that sunscreen on hand. Over the next 3-day period, we do have a high UV, which means burn time is about 25 to 30 minutes. And if you are heading to the beach today, we do have a low risk of rip currents at our Alabama beaches as well as our Florida beaches, but always be cautious getting into the water.
All right, Hannah, thank you. Should be a great night tonight to come out and support the South Alabama Jags as they look to get their second win against Arkansas State. The Jags began the season strong with a big win against Morgan State, but since dropped 5 straight games, they are a touchdown favorite, though, to win against Arkansas. The Jags have won 5 of the last 6 matchups since 2019. Kickoff from Hancock Whitney Stadium is set for tonight at 6:30 p.m. Ardation Smith will be live there as well in our afternoon shows. Well, just a reminder for you, you have a chance to make sure your children are safe in the car. Fox 10 is hosting a free car seat safety event next month. So mark your calendar for November 6th. Right now, licensed car seat technicians will be here in the studio parking lot to check your car seats and fix any problems they may find. Those problems can include anything from recalled seats to using the wrong seat to the seat being too loose. We are partnering with USA Health Children's and Women's Hospital, and we will be giving away a limited number of car seats at this event as well. We really hope you will come see us on Thursday, November 6th, to help make sure your children are staying safe in the car and on the roads. Well, listen to this now. A woman's bank account froze and she lost access to all of her money. She didn't know what to do, so she reached out for help. Susan Campbell started making calls searching for answers.
You can imagine the stress. It's her only bank account, so the past several weeks have been really challenging.
I have my peanut butter, popcorn, and my dog food. My dog treats right there.
There's not much in Rosalind's cupboards. The fridge is almost empty too.
Nothing here.
So's the freezer. She had money, but she says her Chase bank account was frozen when she deposited a 5-figure check a month ago.
Initially, Chase Bank said that it was flagged as a fraudulent check and that they couldn't verify the check.
She's called, she's visited branches.
And each time I get a different story.
That's her only bank account, so her money that was in there before the check was deposited is also on hold.
I can't pay my bills. My car insurance lapsed. I can't afford to buy any food. I have specialists that I have to see because I am in remission recently from cancer. Yesterday, I had an appointment with a specialist that was 50 minutes away there and 15 minutes away back. And I'm just praying, like, please get home because I don't have the gas.
We asked Chase, what's the holdup? They quickly agreed to look into the situation. According to the bank, both the maker of the check and the customer had previous returned or unauthorized checks, so they needed to review the transaction. In a statement, a spokesperson for the bank said to protect customers against rising check fraud, we review checks and deposits for inconsistencies to ensure they're valid. After further review, the funds have been returned and we apologize for the delay. Now with the money back in her account, Rosalind says she'll be able to focus on her health and staying in remission.
Here you go. It is a hell of a fight.
There was no check fraud in this case, but in general, because check fraud is such a problem, Chase says consumers should use permanent ink to prevent changes to a check. Fill the entire line to make sure extra information can't be added. Write amounts clearly and use a consistent signature. Chase also says if you can, just avoid using checks if there's another payment method that's available. I'm Susan Campbell.
Straight ahead on Fox 10 Midday, you can have your cake and eat it too. The Reason Why is coming up in your Midday Talkers. Plus, we're testing out a phone case that says it does more than just protect your cell phone. Does it work is next after this break. Welcome back, and today is arguably the best day of the year, at least for Hannah and I, because it's a day to celebrate your sweet tooth.
Because it's National Dessert Day.
Oh yeah, the options are endless, from brownies to ice cream, cookies, cakes, pies, and so much more.
For many people, a dessert is the perfect complement to top off a meal, or sometimes I eat dessert before my meal, you know, mix it up a little bit.
Lunch, dinner, all the things, but it's also an ideal indulgence that you can treat yourself with, like we said, anytime.
Today is the day to stop by your local bakery or restaurant for a treat.
Or if you have the extra time, just whip up your own at home if you're talented.
I mean, this is a good reminder for Tasty Tuesday. We do have a sweet treat. For those who do watch on the weekends, Steve Alexander has never had a chocolate chip pancake. So I did make chocolate chip pancakes for him to try. So stay tuned for that.
I can't wait to see that. Steve Alexander is an icon here. I can't wait to see his reaction. I think he's going to love it. Really quickly, favorite dessert? Go.
Oh, goodness. Anything with chocolate. I'm really not that picky.
For sure.
It also depends on the mood, too.
Yeah.
Because, like, I can never just pick, but I do love a good cheesecake.
For sure. Oh my goodness, my go-to cookies and cream milkshake all day long.
Yes, that is really good.
So good, so good. Well, listen to this. Halloween is right around the corner, hard to believe. And according to a recent survey, Americans are planning to spend big on costumes.
And we've got the top costumes that kids and adults are going for.
Yeah, so the National Retail Federation's annual consumer survey says $4.3 billion will be spent on costumes alone. And nearly 3/4 of Americans who plan to celebrate Halloween will dress up.
As for what characters you'll see for this holiday, Spider-Man is the popular choice for children this year.
And the survey also finds 2.3 million will dress up as the comic book hero.
Princess, witch, and ghost costumes are the next most popular costume.
For sure. The most favored dress-up characters for adults this Halloween are expected to be a witch, vampire, and pirate. All of those very classic options. Many people are including their pets in the costume fun, with the most popular a pumpkin.
It's funny, that's literally what Stormy is going to be.
She's going to be a pumpkin?
Yes.
I love that. Have you seen the ghost trend with dogs, cats, etc.? You take
Where you
a
put
white
the sheet over them?
the
Yes.
little
I don't think she would sit still for that. She's already not a big fan of the pumpkin. I saw it at Target. It was 40% off. I said, oh my gosh, I have to.
Steal, not a deal. We're going to try to do, I think, the ghost trend with our golden doodle, but he's been really crazy the past few years and didn't like it. So we're really hoping he's a little more mature for this costume this year.
Good luck with that.
All right, so the main function of a phone case is typically just to protect the phone itself.
This week's Does It Work product claims their phone case transforms into the maker call a kangaroo pouch for your phone.
All right, Rachel Hackbarth puts this item to the test from Ninja Labs.
This is the Ninja Labs Flex Pouch phone case. The makers describe this $78 case as a kangaroo pouch for your phone, storing everything from keys to makeup. We're testing this out with my friend and professional photographer, Raymond Dotson.
You're a photographer. Do you ever find yourself like just kind of carrying a lot of stuff, having a hard time?
My life is a scramble. Let's not play games. You've seen my house. It's a nightmare.
You've seen my car. We're going to see if some of these items that are typically thrown in a bag can fit in this phone case instead.
Sunglasses, nails, contacts, you name it.
There's only one rule: no sharp items can go in here.
I'm scared, actually.
Okay, is it going in there?
Hey, that kind of works, if that's all you want
Well, I
in
want
there.
to take some pins with me too, so if we can put those in there. I mean, is it fitting that in there too?
It fits.
I've got some lip gloss.
We're just going for at capacity, huh?
We've got sunglasses, makeup, pins.
I have questions, I have concerns. There's a Surgeon General's warning on this thing.
What do you think about that? I mean, do you think we fit a lot of stuff in here?
Honestly, we fit a lot of stuff in there, but like, would you want that in your pocket?
No, but I mean, if I emptied it out like this, would it be a little bit better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Raymond thinks the Ninja Labs phone case works. It's just not something he personally needs.
I feel like it's a fun niche thing, but realistically, I would just put these things in my pocket.
For Does It Work, I'm Rachel Ackbarth.
Could definitely use it, but what I'm really on the search for right now is a good phone case. We're gonna do a quick phone tour before we go to break. I don't know if you can tell, my phone is hanging on by a thread. There are loose glass pieces falling off the back right now, so maybe could use a kangaroo pouch.
I think you need something that involves apparently any dropping of your phone. I don't know if y'all
Maybe
know.
a steel case?
You know how you can put your phone on a circular thing and charge? You can literally see the circle in which will let your phone charge on
and
it.
every single camera is broken on my phone.
I know. I do take her pictures all the time here at Fox 10 and have to send them to her.
Send me your best phone case recommendations. We'll be right back right now. We're taking a live look where?
Dauphin Island looking absolutely beautiful out there with these warm, sunny skies. We'll be right back after this break.
All right, y'all, welcome back in. A quick look at the weather before we go today, Hannah.
Yes, it's basically copy and paste of what we've been seeing over the last few days. Just a little bit warmer. Here's a look at the next 5 hours. You can see there's plenty of sunshine. Not really going to be a cloud in the sky. Already into the 80s, and we're going to get into the upper 80s today. We'll be at 83 degrees by 1 o'clock, 85 degrees by 2 o'clock, and look at that, 87 degrees by 3 o'clock, grazing that 90-degree mark. But luckily with these dry conditions, we're not going to add on to that feels like temperature, so it's going to feel exactly like those numbers that you see on the screen. Here is your football forecast today. We do have the South Alabama Jaguars taking on Arkansas State at 6:30 tonight at Hancock Whitney Stadium. Beautiful conditions, a little bit warm to start off the game, but by the time the game ends, we'll be into the upper 60s. No rain either. So this is me saying go Jags because that's my alma mater, but your 7-day forecast is staying pretty consistently warm, but luckily we do have rain chances coming back this weekend.
I'll say go Jags as well.
Yes, go Jags.
Mine as well. Jason Smith will be live at the game this afternoon. Stay tuned right here on Fox 10 News. We'll see you on Fox 10 Live at 3.